And joining us now, the woman with the blanket.
I brought it.
I had it yesterday.
I'm not proud.
I feel you. No,
I'm
you
not
should be proud.
In this studio, and look, by the way, it's an electric blanket. Because you're a crazy man, and it is absolutely like freezer.
Don't let him have your nose. I had that on yesterday.
I officially work with the most dramatic people.
You just want my blanket.
In all of television.
By the way, you see that Shady was like, hey, Rachel, he just wants the blanket. That's all he wants. Let's be real.
Okay, well, look, what I want from you, Rachel, is nothing but what you bring every day, which is absolute intelligence. Been covering the NBA for the last several decades. One of the most brilliant minds in all of the sport. I know you were at the Knicks-Pacers game 1. Yep. We're now 3 games later. Shady, I'll start with you, though. Hey, what's the biggest reason that the Knicks are down 3-1 to a Pacers team that you thought was severely less talented?
Yeah, they are, but that don't matter. I think that they are better coached, the Pacers.
Yeah.
And I think that they want it more. And it's small things like talent. You don't need talent to have effort. The small things you're watching. Like I'm watching how every loose ball, every 50 ball, they're getting. Right? You talk about adding the pressure on a fast tempo, rebounds, kicking it out, getting it going, a fast break, stay on that. Yep. And it's like, Timber was in the huddle saying, hey, let's go, get back. Hustle, sprint. When a coach got to tell you to sprint, it is over. When a coach got to tell you to sprint in a competitive sport, you know it's a wrap. And when you watch this game, now I would say that the Knicks is probably more a talented team. That don't matter. Because I see guys on the bench for the Pacers coming there outdoing the starters for the Knicks. And you talking about why they losing, that's why. We can talk about the Brunson fouls and this and that. The real issue is they're getting out coached, and then the team is playing with way more effort and heart. Yeah. One team looks like they want to go to the finals. The other team is just kind of trying to survive. Mm-hmm. And that's the Knicks surviving.
I like what Shady's saying. I think at the end of the day, we got to be honest about it. The Pacers are just better.
There it is.
The Pacers are just better. I remember this quote, Rachel, playing ball. My coach would tell me, fatigue makes a coward of us all.
Yeah, sure.
Fatigue makes a coward of us all. I don't reject the Knicks players as if they're not intending to try. It's hard to try when you play in 40 minutes a game. It's just hard, and they play in 32 minutes a game. It's hard to try when you're tasked with not just playing 40 minutes a game in this imminent game, but throughout the course of the NBA playoffs, you've had to play 40 minutes a game. Meanwhile, the Pacers are playing 32, 33 minutes a game with their primary starters. I don't think the Knicks don't want to try. I don't think the Knicks don't want to lend effort. I don't think the Knicks don't want it just as bad as the Pacers do. I just think the mind is willing, but the flesh is weak. And at the end of the day, the Knicks' flesh is breaking down. So the Pacers are just better. The Pacers' best player, Tyrese Haliburton, is playing better than the Knicks' best player in Jalen Brunson. The Pacers coach is out coaching the Knicks coach. I think the Pacers are playing with more pace. I think the Pacers are playing with a deeper roster, and I think the Pacers are illuminating the voids that the Knicks have. The Knicks don't necessarily have the depth. The Knicks thus don't have the pace. The Knicks coaching is lacking, and ultimately the Pacers are a very, very, very good team because they're in Indiana. They haven't gotten the national recognition they probably should have gotten throughout the duration of the year, and that starts with the head of the snake with Tyrese Haliburton. We'll talk more about him later.
Look, the Knicks don't have an elite defense. It is rare for a team to win an NBA title if they are not in the top 10 defensively during the regular season. That's just historically the way it's been. They were number 13 out of 30 teams this season. They're number 8 out of 16 teams in the playoffs. That is the definition of middling, right? They're not terrible, but they're not an elite defense. And you are now allowing a player in Tyrese Haliburton who knows how to feast, gentlemen, on non-elite defenses, look exceptional. And Tyrese is just this, I'd call him a tornado of fun out on the basketball court, right? He is a shot-making, trash-talking machine. And you put him up against players who are not at his level and can't defend a guy like that, he is going to do what he has done throughout this playoffs and throughout this series. Now, I do want to say, though, the Knicks are still an exceptionally good team this playoffs. We are in the Final Four, gentlemen. Yeah. So I don't believe any of these guys are trash. I just think that when you are at the point of the rubber meeting the road to get to the NBA Finals, you got to be elite. Yeah. And they are not elite on both sides of the floor.
Yeah, for me, it's very simple, and it's what Acho said. It's the Pacers. Yeah. I think we have to give the Pacers some credit here. And not only this is the Pacers, it's the Pacers, and it's the Pacers' physicality. The Pacers, man, when you watch the game, they don't even really have too much respect for the Knicks. At least that's how they playing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they playing with the mindset of, we don't care who y'all are. We don't care what seed we are. We finna pick you up from half court. We don't care if we push you on the ground. We finna get up, and we finna hold you and all that. Did you see Brunson? He kept on asking for, like, fouls on just the inbound. Like they getting up in you defensively, and they making it really, really hard on you. And then not only that, the way they move the ball offensively, man. Tyrese Haliburton, obviously the head of the snake, but the way they move the basketball, the way he's making everybody around them better. The Pacers is just a much better team right now. At least they're showing it, and they're showing that they're way more physical. And the main reason why I know that, you gave up 50-plus points in the paint, man. Yeah. In the paint. You're supposed to be talented down there. You guys got some big boys down there, too. You gave up 50-plus points in the paint against the Indiana Pacers team, man. You're getting out physical. The Pacers are a really good basketball team, and we got to give them some credit, man, and especially Haliburton, because he showed out.
And even like the small little things where I think about, like, okay, we're like you just said, we're in the Final Four. We're the best of the best, right?
On,
and potentially go to the finals, right? Like, that's the Super Bowl, the finals. Yeah. And when I'm watching the game, I'm like, okay, so earlier in the game, it was kind of close. And then they started this turnovers thing. Now it's like turnover after turnover after turnover. I'm like, yo, like, where is the leadership? Where is, like, the mental part of, like, you know what? We are trying to go to the finals, right? And now we're already playing a really, really good team, offensively and defensively. We can't give up turnovers because now they're scoring this with easy points, though, instead of making them earn it.
Yeah.
You know, like, small things like that. Then another thing's like the fouls. I'm watching Anthony Towns, and it's like, I can see why they traded him. I can see it. Because when you say, why would they trade a guy that's so talented? He's a big, can shoot, can drive, can score. But then when you watch him play sometimes, it's like, yo, where's your effort on defense? Pick and roll. Haliburton's going to pick and roll. You stepping way back. Of course you're going to hit a little mid-range. Or times where we fouls, you grabbing a guy, you post up and you grabbing him. It's like, of course it's a foul. We in prime time moments and you foul it. Or you grabbing the dude's wrist.
There's cameras.
It's like, it's so much. But when you watch the tape, right, because everybody likes to, you know, like in the playoffs, you get to really coach the basketball players. Yeah. That's one thing that a lot of my NBA friends, you know this better than anybody, is like, I can't really coach in the regular season. But in the playoffs, we can really game plan, right, your opponent. Yeah. So when I'm game planning, I'm watching tape to correct things, I'm like, Carl, what are you doing here? Yeah. Because we could talk about the points, right? I feel like sometimes in basketball or sometimes even in football, like if a quarterback throws for a lot of yards, he had a great day. Basketball player, he scores a lot of points, he had a great day. Until you really break it down, it's like, what are you doing here? Because this right here, Carl, we can't win and go to the finals if you're doing stuff like this.
But this is why I say the Knicks are just a better team.
Come on, man.
Because I think, like, sometimes the Pacers are just a better team. Thanks for the correction. Because sometimes you're just as weak as your weakest link, and that might even be mentally. Yeah. Like, we played ball a long time on here. Shady for 12 years, James for 9 years, myself for 4 years. Played for a long time up here. Sometimes, Rachel, I would play with players that were just dumb. Didn't mean they weren't productive. They were just dumb. I played with some linebackers. I won't say them by name. Wow. But they were just dumb. Now, with that being said, I wasn't that athletic. I was very smart. I was unathletic. Call it what it is. Everybody needs to be honest with who they are as a player. Karl Anthony Towns plays a dumb brand of basketball. Does not mean he is not a star or an all-star. But there's a reason where Cat gets in foul trouble, Brunson gets in foul trouble.
Break it down by dumb. What do you mean by dumb?
All the fouls y'all are talking about. Like, Cat, why are you fouling him right there? It's the first quarter of the game. You know if you're going to use your fouls, let's save them until the fourth quarter. Meanwhile, I knew for a fact Brunson wasn't going to get in foul trouble this game. Yeah. Because he got in foul trouble the last game. And Brunson's smart. So Brunson's like, you know what? I can't afford to get in foul trouble again after I just got in foul trouble. Yeah. Cat does not play a smart brand of basketball. Cat will get dumb fouls that we all sitting on this desk would say, Cat, you know you can't afford to get in foul trouble. Thibodeau knows Cat don't play smart brand of basketball. Because if Brunson and Thibodeau, when they were both in foul trouble, they say, you know what, Cat, I'm pulling you out the game because you might get another foul right before halftime and you might get 4 fouls sitting at 3. Meanwhile, Thibodeau will say, you know what, Brunson, I'll give you a little bit of a longer leash. So the reason I suggest the Pacers deserve the credit, the Pacers are the reason the Knicks are down 3-1, is because top to bottom, they just play a smarter brand of basketball. Their coaches just exudes a smarter brand of basketball, and I just think the Pacers are a better team, even though they don't necessarily have the same star power.
For me, though, like watching that game, because the game was close. It was going back and forth all game. The Knicks didn't finish a couple quarters, and I think that was the outcome of the ball game. But it's so much easier for the Pacers to get a bucket when you need to get a bucket. Now, during the course of the game, it's going to be a fast break. But when you got to have it and you check that ball in inbounds, it's so much easier for the Pacers to get a bucket the way they play basketball than the Knicks. Jalen Brunson is just ball dominant. Not saying he's not a superstar player, but he's ball dominant. It's so hard for them to get a bucket. The Pacers, The way they playing offense and running it through Haliburton, it's so easy to get a bucket.
Of Haliburton, and Rachel, I want to come to you first for this question as we transition, because you have seen the ascension of stars, the ascension of them. You saw the ascension in real time of LeBron James. You saw the ascension in real time of Kobe Bryant. You saw the ascension in real time of Tim Duncan. You saw the ascension in real time of Steve Nash, of Shaquille O'Neal, of literally everybody.
If you say Kareem, we're going to have a problem, because I ain't that old.
Of Wilt Chamberlain. Everybody relax. But now, what are we witnessing with Tyrese Haliburton?
I'm thrilled because Tyrese Haliburton is such a fun player to cover, and he's been so great over the years if you've been an NBA person, and I love that the rest of the country is getting to see him. I mean, he does everything you want one of your stars to do, right? First of all, he delivers in the biggest moments.
Yeah.
I mean, historically, he's been doing things in this playoffs that nobody has ever done before.
Yeah.
What he did last night, guys, delivering that many points, that many assists, and no turnovers, right?
Yeah.
Literally never happened in the history of the game. And by the way, thank you for letting his father back. We talked about this last week. I have been on this, right? Thank you for letting Papa Haliburton back in the building to see this, because it is incredible. It is something a parent should witness. It is something we are all witnessing. And I love that people are seeing the trash that he talks. You talk about, oh, they're not scared, the attitude that they have. That all comes from Tyrese Haliburton. They are behind him 100%. And he is giving not just the basketball sort of X's and O's, but the star power that we want in playoffs, where there's going to be criticism, right? If the playoffs or the finals end up going Oklahoma City and Indiana, there will be the whole small market teams. Are there ratings? Are people going to want to watch these guys? You want to watch Tyrese Haliburton play basketball. I promise you, he is so much fun.
Yeah, I agree with Rachel for sure. I guess I always agree with you.
Oh, come on. Well, I got the blanket.
I think he's ascending to that stardom role, right? And the cool thing about him is we're watching because nobody wants to give it to him, right? Just think about it for a second. He plays this well the whole playoffs, and you bring his name up, and people catch is like, I mean, he's good. I mean, you know, he's cool. He's good. No, dog. The brother's coming to a superstar. And then we watch him against elite teams, elite talents. When we came into the Knicks series, you heard all about Jalen Brunson. You ain't really hear much about Haliburton. Okay, the Cavs series, same thing. You talk about Spidey Mitchell, everything else but other than him. And it's like, when players are playing this good, it's natural to give him the light, give him the spotlight. That's why we love Ant-Man. Yeah. Ant-Man's kind of, they talk all that about Ant-Man. He's earned that, right? To this point. And I feel like he's doing the same thing, but he's not getting the love. I think he's finally starting to get that love because you can't keep denying me. Maybe you don't like the way my personality is. Maybe you don't like this, you don't like that. Maybe you don't like my skill set, whatever it is. But you got to respect what he's doing. And I think he's starting to kind of earn that right because people that really don't like him, now they got to like him. Or people that didn't like him, now they got to respect him. That's the one, that's the key right there. Because a lot of players that be really, really good and people might not just like them because whatever it may be. But you got to respect them because they are playing so well. And we will see him in the finals.
We witnessing one of the most overrated players in the national.
Have I broken down the survey for you guys?
No.
This is one of my favorite things. All right. So you know what the big storyline is like, oh, he's the most voted the most overrated player by his peers, right? Here's the problem with that. That survey, there's 450 players in the NBA. Yeah. Only 90 players even answered that question. So you're only dealing with 90. That's less than a quarter, right? And of those 90, only 14.4% said that he was overrated, which maths out to 13 guys. There are 13 players in the NBA, and the entire 450-person NBA who think Tyrese Haliburton is overrated. It's possible that the Milwaukee Bucks are 12 of those 13 players. I don't know. The rivalry between those two teams is deep. Someone's pissed off he made the Olympic team instead of them. That's one other guy. I mean, the NBA does not think Tyrese Haliburton is overrated, but hasn't he made, like, the best hay out of this? Overrate that, sucker.
And that's why you don't spread rumors. That's why you don't spread rumors right there, man, because you don't know what to believe. But no, he's proven everybody wrong, man. And the blessing about it is you're right. We don't get to see Tyrese Haliburton play on national TV 24/7. So we don't know how good this Pacers team or how good Haliburton is. And when he got his opportunity, and he has his opportunity right now to show the world that I'm like that, he's showing the world that he's a top player in the National Basketball League, man. Wherever you want to put him at, if you want to put him as superstar, good player, wherever you want to put him, he's showing the world that I'm like that as a basketball player, and we are going to be problems out here in Indiana for a very, very, very long time because of me. because I make everybody around me better, because of the type of player I am. And that is what he's showing right now. So all the underrated stuff is out of the window. This dude is a legit star in the NBA right now, and we are witnessing a dude go to work. I mean, what we witnessed last night, man, that was crazy.
Crazy. Mm-hmm. I think, like, we're witnessing one of those I remember when moments. Like, you know when something becomes big, but y'all were there first? It could have been Facebook. Facebook now ended up being popping, but y'all remember y'all may have been
MySpace was my thing.
MySpace.
Yeah, because I'm here the little DM. I'm trying to holler at her. You see with the picture.
Okay,
my bad.
My bad. Let me focus.
Flashbacks.
Yeah, let me focus.
Even like a lot of people, hip hop artists. Like I remember when Chance finally won his Grammy, and I was like, bro, I remember seeing Chance low key at a show in Austin, Chance the Rapper.
Yeah.
I remember, remember like when the iPhone finally became its first big thing, and y'all remember like the iPads and the iPod Nanos and all those little things.
We had them.
This to me is that I remember when moment. I think Haliburton will wind up becoming a champion maybe several times, Olympic gold medalist maybe several times, and we're gonna be like, yo. Y'all remember when Haliburton took Giannis to the cup for the game winner versus the Bucks? Y'all remember when Haliburton made his first free throw, missed his second free throw, pulled it back out for a Spidey splash, Trey Ball won? Y'all remember when Haliburton hit that dagger three and then did the choke stindle against the Knicks just to go back in overtime and win it later? Y'all remember when Haliburton had 65-plus points accounted for with no turnovers, was one of only 4 players in NBA history to do that, along with Chris Paul, Jokic, and Jamal Murray? Y'all remember when? I'm sure we do it with LeBron James all the time. Like, I remember when LeBron led the Cavs versus the Spurs in 07. And now LeBron ends up being one of the top 5, top 3 greatest players of all time. I think we're witnessing that. We're living through the I remember when moment. And in 20, 30 years from now, we will all be like, no. We was there. We watched it. Rachel was there. Rachel was at game 1. I think this is
only thing, and that was a great breakdown. That's why you get on TV. Only thing with that, though, you got to win a championship. Yeah, because all that stuff LeBron did, that was great. That was cool. When you win a chip, let's talk about it. Oh, remember?
Yes.
So if he don't win a chip, it's going to be hard to even bring up all that old stuff. Because I know a lot of great players that had a lot of great moments that didn't really amount to nothing. So he do got to get that chip because you know what? We don't look at him the same way. Like, even me, like, I always thought he was like, I thought he was good, you know? But now, I think he's special now. Yeah. And now you got a special player, we win special results. And the special results is confetti coming down.
But here's what's so fascinating to me, Rachel, chime in quickly after, is Haliburton doing this with this squad of non-superstar talent. It leads me to believe, I think Haliburton's only 25 years of age. It leads me to believe, like, Haliburton's runway, God only knows how long it is. It's not like he plays some incredibly physical brand of basketball like Giannis where you're like, oh, maybe his body might break down. Haliburton plays a brand of basketball that you would anticipate he could play long into his mid-30s. Yeah. So when I think about even Haliburton winning a chip, I'm like, that runway is potentially so long because he doesn't play a physical, overly aggressive brand of basketball. He's not some high flyer where you have to worry about knee pain going forward. I do think Haliburton has a championship, not just the one in 2 weeks from now, but I think he potentially has championships in his future.
It's so hard, though, right? We're going to have our 7th champion in 7 years this year. It is very hard to even just get to the stage. And let's assume, by the way, I don't think the Knicks are totally out of this series, but it is hard to win as many games in a row as they will have to win. So let's just say that he advances. Let's say Oklahoma City advances. Let's wait and see Tyrese Haliburton against the Oklahoma City defense before you start racking up how many championships he's going to have.
I love you, girl. I just said it, Aaron. I just said that.
But here's the thought.
That defense is different.
But by the way, I mean, I think Tyrese Haliburton is worthy of all of the praise you are heaping on him. But I do, again, I started the segment saying the Knicks have a middling defense. That's not some insult. It's just a statistical fact.
But what about
and the Oklahoma
Giants?
City Thunder do not. And we'll have to see.
What about the Giants? Because here's my thing. Before this series, Shady was one of the big proponents of, like, Haliburton ain't really had to, he ain't there yet. But I was like 2-5, bro. Like, Haliburton, he's done it. He's hit game winners in Series 1, game winners in Series 2. Then he hit the game winner in Series 3. I was like, this is what he does. Obviously, the Thunder were the second best. No, they were the best team in basketball. I don't know if the Cavs or them had the better record. Who had the better record in totality? I forget.
At the end of the season, I think the Cavs
OKC.
They were still 16 ahead of everybody else in the West.
So when I think about it, the Pacers have already slayed Giants.
Yeah.
They already slayed, they slayed Giants on a micro level and a macro level. Haliburton took Giannis to the cup to win the game. Not no little slouch. Took Giannis to the cup. The Cavs were the 1 seed. The 1 seed. The Pacers did not just beat them handedly, albeit there were injuries for the Cavs. I can't omit that piece of information, but everybody has injuries. The Thunder, if the Pacers get there, they are the next giant.
Yeah.
But we have seen, and if the Thunder get there, obviously, because the T-Wolves, they still have a chance too. But we've seen the Pacers slay giants. So I just don't have any more doubts that the Pacers can continue to slay giants because they've done it all playoffs.
What you trying to say? Because you ain't saying it. So what you trying to say? You know what I mean? It's like Rachel, you trying to ask for her number, and you don't just say, hey, what's your number? I want to take you out today. Oh, well, what do you do for a living? What are you doing this week? You know what I mean? What are you No, dog. I want you. You ain't saying that. So what you trying to say?
What you trying to say?
We asked for a phone number. What number? What you trying to say? They slayed giant.
I'm trying to say, are you available later this evening? That's what I'm trying to say.
Because listen, I'll say that there because and Rachel said it. She said it earlier. She said, "Listen, he doing his thing because I respect players that's balling. He's balling, and I don't care injuries, not injuries. That's part of the game. Yeah. But all this might not be remembered
if you don't
to the public. If you go against OKC like she just talked about." And we see defensive performance like they're doing against Ant-Man. We're like, hold up
but
now.
To be honest with you, though, that's not Haliburton's game, though. Like, Haliburton is only averaging 19 points in the entire playoffs. So his game is making
good, though,
sure.
James.
No, but I'm saying, like, his game is not Ant-Man's game. So it's easy to kind of take Ant-Man out of the game because Ant-Man is ball dominant. He's trying to score and do all. Haliburton is trying to make everybody around him better. So that game plan against Haliburton is going to be different. And it's going to be a whole lot harder to slow him down because he's making the right play.
Well, he led the league in assists last year.
He scored too, though, now.
He does, but I'm saying
when they big games,
he don't score at an extremely high clip. He's going to get his teammates involved at a high clip.
What up, YouTube family? Welcome to the facility. Thanks for watching, and you better be sure to hit that subscribe button if you want to get more highlights from the show and all of our exclusive content.